And this is the big thing. It was a big announcement from Capcom Cup, and it's gotten trending. The memes have been glorious. I love the internet so much. And it's just been like a lot of hope for a lot of people. But I wanted to talk about it because I'm like, I don't think y'all, the touchscreen. I don't think y'all realize like the big implications to this. So Capcom Cup finishes off. The president and COO of Capcom comes out. Man, it's like, he's rocking the leather. He's like, yo, hello, children. Try not to be boomer about things. It's all good. But I'm just joking. I'm just joshing on him. Dude came out with drip. And he just started dropping like, hey, got an announcement. And we're like, well, it's not going to be Street Fighter 6 unless you guys lied to us. Don't be Ed Boon, please. We can only take one of those at a time. And came out, I was like, listen, this is some announcement that's going to change everything. It's going to change the FGC landscape or the history and all that. And it came out like, oh, Street Fighter 6, Capcom Cup 2023. We're like, yeah, duh, we know that. Prize pool, right? Big number came up. None of us seen that many fucking zeros affiliated with fighting games ever. Like ever. $2 million. And at that point you're like, oh my god,
$1 million in prizes.
We're already there. We're like, elated. And then they're like, 1 million, the first place. And just just drop. And the amount of Street Fighter 6 careers that have been born in those like couple minutes. What's that?
Burning in flames. It's gonna be
my god! Unfortunately, $2 million, biggest in the history of fighting games. We are now touching the levels of your Dotas, your leagues. Right? We are poverty. This shouldn't be a thing. What the fuck is Capcom thinking? That's like, those are the things that are going through my mind. And then, the internet did its thing, and it's like, look at all the OG players that are gonna start showing up. Oh, used to, like, I'm not gonna play this game. Why do I want to play for fucking 50? There's a 2,000 man bracket. I go home with $1,700. Well, fuck that. I'm gonna go over here and make money, right? Like this is now, it's going crazy.
The thing is, do they pay out top 64? Do they pay out top 32? This is the biggest question, right? Because now you're fighting for something else, and that means, and this is like looking at a bigger, broad scope. Now companies and organizations are not worried about, hey, if this is going to be a staple, are we picking up players to play for that top 64 just to get noticed, to bring in some form of money, right? So let's say you get like, I don't know, top 32, and you walk away with like 5 to 10 grand, maybe a little bit more, right? The first thing that's going to come to mind is companies going to go, okay, well, you made about 15 grand or so. All right, we're going to take like 3 grand from you, and then we'll keep giving you out, right? Like that.
We'll get it. We'll get into not get into
once
it because honestly,
announce more, right?
Sponsors and shit, that's their business. However,
I'm just saying, like,
however they're gonna deal with that shit, the way they might deal with some of it, maybe some players might be like, oh shit, maybe this ain't for me. Maybe it's time to go.
But I mean, getting top 8 doesn't matter as much now.
But no, first of all, people are still gonna want to win. Like there are people that play for the money. But then there are people that are going to play for obviously the glory, right? For the respect, which funny enough,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely gonna change the landscape there.
Change, yeah.
Yeah, this actually, I got this the week before, and I was like, wow, things have changed, right?
But the players are still the same, McGruber.
Yeah, the players.
If I win, I get the money and the cash and respect.
This guy thinks there's cash. This is FGC incarnate. This is it right here. But
there's only family.
So it's only family. So like this is the big thing though, right? $2 million. That's a big statement. $1 million, man. We in those 7 figures. That's $1 million just for one person. I'm not even gonna get into the crazy complications of your life that will happen when you get that kind of money. That's a whole other convo we could have with maybe someone in the future. But the biggest things for me, I was like, man, how's ArcSys gonna take this? Bandai Namco, everybody else, right? That are like trying to push, because Capcom started Capcom Cup. You started seeing more circuits around, following suit. $1 million. Like, hold up. Like, is this gonna be the standard? Like, are how many other communities are going to not even, I don't want to say lose, because I'm gonna tell you right now, they made this announcement. I was like, that is so sick, unbelievable. I can't wait for Street Fighter 6. It's already a fun game. Street Fighter 6 is already fun, so they're already got a great foundation. On the casual level, Street Fighter 6 is gonna be what Street Fighter 4 was to the 09ers. Is what Street Fighter 4 did to them, is what Street Fighter 6 is about to do, but even more. Because it has this insane amount of support behind it, right? $1 million. Like, kids today can tell their parents, like, hey, can go the ending walk around. They got supportive parents, if they got the drive and stuff to do it. Like, hey, mom and dad, I could buy you a houses with this, right? If you let me just, pay off your debt. I could
Transformer.
I could buy a fucking Optimus Prime. I could go to college with this. Right, like these conversations are like, now in terms of fighting games, like, sure, that already exists in things like Counter-Strike and Valorant and Overwatch and League of Legends. Like, there's already those routes there, but like, to do it for fighting games, it's like this has never been a discussion. It's never been a thing. Now it's like, you got to be a content creator, you got to do this and that, which is also, they're perfectly viable options. But the fact that this exists, it's insane. But that is such a big signal, right? I've said it all the time. Fighting games are a, like, someone do first, we follow mentality. Like, whether it's on the TO level, on the execution level, production level, and now, pricing level, circuits, all that stuff, even on the developer side of things, because they all collaborate. Remember, we've seen, the developers conferences, they all collaborate, they all know. Motherfuckers is like, I'm pretty sure Harada, like, saw that million, which is like, oh shit.
I got
Michael.
That's what brother Evo today.
That motherfucker was like, am I reading this right? Please tell me I'm reading this wrong.
I wonder if that's why you saw all the devs in this presentation compared to Capcom.
They're like, don't forget us, please.
Well,
we exist.
You brought up an interesting question, and I mean, I gotta ask, like, at this point, I know, like, Evo has been always considered the biggest event, the mecca of international, high level play. I mean, at this rate, does that mean people who play Street Fighter 6, Evo just doesn't have the significant field that Capcom Cup now has?
No,
like,
wrong.
I mean,
wrong.
Don't get me wrong.
Evo has the title. Evo will always have the title and the name. Capcom Cup is just, money changes a little bit, but it doesn't change the premier de facto title and the prestige that comes from winning Evo. Capcom Cup is a circuit at the end of the day. Is it a high paying circuit now? Absolutely. Evo was also high paying, but I just it's not a circuit. Yeah, it's usually a stop for Capcom, right? It's a premiere. It's important because maybe now Evo will actually even become more important, because chances are some of that prize pool is going to Evo.
Exactly.
Well,
that's where I was going with the 2 million in prizes.
Exactly.
I don't really like that. I hate that concept, because if you realistically think about it, they have the foundation to build up by having us pay for DLC and stuff like that to kick back to the tournaments, right? So in retrospect, I think, yes, 2 million is a lot, but if we're spreading a majority of that, the like 1 million, obviously across multiple games, I'm just like, man, other big games don't do that. Like, they just do end of the, like, what do they do that in, like, Valorant, where they do, like, because I thought, like, they just have, like, champions and challengers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have not routes.
Like, but like the end goal is usually the one that has the most money in it, right? Like, it's like, oh, this is like a 30 mil whatever, but they have like other stuff that generates other money for those things instead of taking out of the 30 million prize pool. I know this is a lot. I know this is big. I mean, regardless however we look at it, however they choose to spread the money across, I just don't want it to be like, oh, well, 1 million for winner of Capcom Cup, and then everybody else walks away with like 2-3 grand, right? Because that's just weird.
Listen, I don't have to win the 1 million. I'll take second place and take fucking 250. No problem.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You won't hear me complain.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, does those things change? But no, ultimately, I do think this kind of does kind of hurt other games if they can't keep up. This is Capcom we're talking about, though.
I don't think it hurts. I think it's we're gonna set the bar higher. You have to catch up. It's not about hurt.
And also,
Evo's doing a good job. 25 grand per game.
Oh yeah, that's still hell yeah. I'll fucking
really
play for
high.
25 grand. Shit, I'll pay for $25. Like you know, it is what
That's
it is.
what, like that's technically like 4 or 5 events. Nowadays.
Exactly. So, but like, so here's the other thing though, right? So this got announced. I was like, man, Capcom is gonna have such a banger year. We already knew that, right? RE4 remake is dropping. Fucking Street Fighter 6 is dropping. They have a couple other IPs that they're doing
Monster
too.
Hunter's
But like
doing
this
great.
year, yeah, Monster Hunter just prints money. This year is gonna be insane. So they're gonna make buku money. As soon as I saw the announcement, I was like, man, RE4 is gonna cover that and then some. Easy, no problem. They're not even sweating that. But that's when I started thinking. I was like, Mena RD fucking won 2017 and got away with like $170,000 or something for Capcom Cup. He just won
Yes, he did.
again, like 5 years later, or now it's only 6 years later, and he got 120,000. And the competition was higher. It's been more mainstream. Sure, yeah, maybe you can make it say like, oh, hey, COVID affected things, whatever. It's like, well, if Capcom comes out with this is the other part that I was then worried about. I was like, Capcom comes out swinging like this, like, yo, Street Fighter 6, just put the dick on the table, just lays it out. Street Fighter 6,
Jeez.
$2 million and $1 million. Okay, that's cool. Is next year gonna be like that? Or is this price pool about to go down? Because I mean, unless they got some sort of master plan, unless they are betting the fucking farm on either, you know, just continuously selling titles like RE4, which I mean they could, I guess. Like,
I mean, you got Dino
how are you
Crisis coming up.
How are you gonna Dino Crisis as well? How are you gonna sustain an esports program like this that is shelling out this kind of money?
I think we also forget that Street Fighter 6 also has to sell really well.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Street Fighter 6
for
and
the following
RE4.
game. So, like,
Let me think.
I'm thinking this. I'm
is
thinking this.
Well, go ahead. You're thinking this. Keep the thought. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
ahead.
there you go. I have the
No.
thought. So realistically,
You got-
real quick, if they sell anything over 10 mil, they've already achieved what they needed to. Even 5 mil, right? Because realistically, that will cover all majority of costs for the back end, and then if they wanted to do it next year, right? Because this game is going to be around for a while, and it's only going to keep producing more. Just like how Tekken went from 2 million cells to like 10, almost more. Like, that's insane to think over a course of a few years, right? So the consumer base is going to love what they're seeing, obviously. They're going to be more roped into it. You have people like Maximilian who are going to help rope more people in. I think this isn't a bad route if you've already established yourself, which Street Fighter's been established for a long time. I think it's just time like this. This is kind of hard if you don't have the IP, right? So the only people we can realistically see doing this is something like Bandai, maybe Arxis, depending what game they invest into, which would probably be Guilty Gear or something like that. And then what else, right? Is NRS really going to be willing to put up 2 mil for a new, it's a little absurd for some people. And yeah, maybe they're going to be able to do like 500,000, maybe 250 instead. Like, I don't know. I mean,
don't get me wrong. That's still incredible amount of money.
Yeah,
That
still
is,
a lot.
I don't want to make the precedence here that, it's at $1 million. It's like, yeah, but when you set the bar that high and then you take, you show me this awesome dessert and then like I come back next week to eat and you're like, yeah, nah, dog, we just got, what is it? Instead of Sunday we just got some regular tasty cakes. It's like, you know what? Hey, those tasty cakes still look good. I mean, I still fuck them up.
I mean, I
But
just think
what happened? What happened to that old new? That was fire.
But did they do 1 mil last time? But that was 1
Never.
mil across the board, right?
Well, yeah, I think they did it across, but like that's what I'm saying. The big statement is like over 2 mil. Over 2 mil. Once again, it's not saying 2 is the we don't even know the final number today. It could be like 2.
Yeah.
It could be 2 million and 1. Thank you. Not Regis. I almost said Regis. Jeopardy. Help me here.
Alex
Trebek. Yeah, fucking, or The Price is Right with fucking
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. I always think Bob Barker. Drew Carey is like slowly metamorphing into Bob Barker. It's kind of scary, but
It is.
yeah,
Brady's
2 million.
voice.
It could be 2 million and 1, and be like, oh, ding, 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 right? That's over 2 million. But like, yeah, it's such an interesting situation, and also, mind you, to break into even like the top 10 or close to where Street Fighter like 2, Street Fighter 5 are in sales. I think they're like 7 mil, something like that. 7 million copies.
Yeah, that's not
7 million
downloaded
copies. That doesn't include the DLC, but yeah, we're talking about copies.
No.
So Street Fighter 6 coming out the gate, like, is going to sell more because it's already a much better game. They're already they're targeting it for casuals. I think, like I said, it's going to be a Street Fighter 4 all over again, which is going to be great. It's going to be buku money for them. But I'm like, is this sustainable? It's like the biggest thing. It's like, are we going to have this taken away from us in the next couple years? I mean, don't get me wrong. Once again, even if it's a $500,000, that's still great. But I'm like, damn, y'all coming out swinging with a milli like that, like Lil Wayne, just that's kind of tough.
I'm gonna let you go because I know you really want to say something. Hold that thought for 2 seconds. It's just to follow on it. I just want to state, we got to also realize when you go to GameStop and places like that, when we buy the game, when they say there's a certain amount of sales, and places like GameStop, they only do copies. They don't do anything that's downloaded. So if you buy your copy online,
GameStop wants to use used shit because that's how they make money.
Well, yeah, but like they don't include, and when big companies come by and they do the calculations and everything, they don't do the sales based off of the downloaded versions of the games. They do it all based off of hard copies. So I think even with the copies that are being bought, those are just hard copies mostly that they're including before they include anything else. So I don't think we're really seeing all the real values. God damn it.
All right, so it's a lot of money. Sorry,
it's a lot of money.
So I look at the total price. I was thinking, oh, that's distributed throughout just CPT or Capcom Cup. No, it's like CPT. What's the Pro Tour? Like, they haven't even explained the details of the Pro Tour. And
online, offline, World Warriors, all we got.
Is part of it going to even touch Combo Breaker? Because, Street Fighter 5 is still there.
No.
Like, is it starting with CEO? Does CEO have a prize pool we don't know about?
Probably. Probably.
Right. Like, is it going to have $500,000 to, like, I don't know. Like, that's mind-boggling that there are 4 events that can get $500,000 split between it. Possibly. If they're doing, like, Pro Tour events. Evo, Combo Breaker, ECT. I'm sorry. Evo, CEO, EC, what did I say? Evo, ECT, Combo Breaker. No, Combo Breaker's out. Let me stop. Those are the main events that we're seeing coming up. I mean, Summer Jam might get a piece of that.
I mean, it all depends on where they want, how big they want to make CPT. It depends how long they want CPT to run for. I mean, we might see seasonals instead of, which I think is very interesting if they would switch to that format. A lot of League of Legends, Valorant, CS:GO, all of them do seasons or big stops to the big major, which is obviously, I think that's kind of like where we do like these international stops, and certain stops are a lot better. I guess you could say it's like qualifiers, but those stops like in CSGO are way more they're like this big build up to the bigger event. And I think we're going to start seeing maybe that format get implemented a little bit more here. Like, even though we have these CPT stops, they're usually for points, right? So they're not for getting a position into CPT.
So my next thing is also the fact that they are promoting the hell out of this game. We saw it at Royal Rumble. We saw it on Saturday Night Live. We saw it we can see it a lot of places. I'm surprised we didn't see the Super Bowl, because that's literally the money they're putting into this CPT is how much it costs to put a Super Bowl commercial on. But like, that you got Triple H in the press conference thanks to Capcom for sponsoring. And I'm like, holy crap, Capcom sponsored Royal Rumble. They know FGC. They know CEO then. We had Jabali on last week. He knows wrestling. He said he talks to celebrities or whatever. That's Xavier Woods, Kenny Omega, all of, that's the publicity. And you know what? It's much better than some previous game that we had called Street Fighter 5, because that game had almost no publicity. If anything, it had like a commercial here and there, and we're like, oh, that's cool. But like, it's always a nostalgia clip. Now you've got Jury and Zelina Vega. Exactly. But not even just that. Like, people making fun of the picture of Luke in the front cover, whatever. But also, there was something else that was that that picture. But there was another thing. Oh yeah, and I remember back in like 2018 getting to my church and being like, I played Street Fighter a couple times. He goes, Street Fighter, man, I haven't heard of that in a long time, like when I was a kid. I'm like,
still a thing, man.
Like, they're up to 5. Gosh, I'm like, where have you been in Street Fighter 4? Like, and then so that's the mainstream that I'm talking about. Like, it's not all nostalgic. What's it called? Nostalgia trip.
I got something we totally forgot about. So we were talking about all these other games supporting this, like, you know, from Resident Evil to all those games. Yo, they don't even have to do that anymore. I just thought about it, and we completely overlooked it. Street Fighter Duel. That's where the money's going to come from. All those gacha transactions, all that money that people are going to invest into the mobile game. Like, you don't have to pay for the game, so it's going to be free to play. A lot of people already know what Street Fighter is. You're probably going to see some crossovers, some iconic characters that you're familiar with other games. We forgot about that income that's coming from that, and I think that's super big to not forget.
Mobile gaming will always outdo that. Yeah, for sure.
That's where the money is.
But not just that. Street Fighter has been the IP lately that's been in almost every other IP as of late. You've seen it in a lot of things, and it's maybe that's where they're getting most of their money from. Fortnite's probably like, hey, you get a cut out of all of these Ryu costumes.
Every thick Chun-Li costume that gets out there, you're getting a cut of.
Every business cheeks. Blanca, you know,
business Blanca, Cammy, with or without pants. Actually, no, I think she only has pants on that one.
But I think the only other company that does that is Bandai.
Yeah, it's
Mortal
starting to
Kombat
branch
kind
out.
of does, but like NRS kind of does, but it's mostly
MK for another reason. You know, obviously always has restrictions, but
movies.
Yeah. So Capcom coming out, 2 million strong, million. You know, looking to support, and you know what? You're right. I did forget about Street Fighter Duel. Which hindsight, let me just note right now. I hope some of the Street Fighter 2 like costumes make it to Street Fighter 6. Like, please.
I'll let you know.
Some of those are fire. No, there's some. No, there are some Street Fighter Duel costumes that are like so. Yeah, they're streetwear. They're really hip and hip hopping in and happening and such. They're groovy.
I mean, this might be a gauge though.
I would hope Street Fighter. I would hope Street Fighter 6 bridges some of those gaps too when it comes to some of those DLC, some of those costumes, you know, as well to kind of help. Yeah, sure, it's extra income that they can bring in and extra revenue they can bring in, but you know. I feel like it was kind of lax. I think honestly in the past fighting games in general. Like I'm still pissed to this day that Guilty Gear just doesn't have anything. Like it's just like, come on, you have some of the most original characters. You could definitely do some cool shit. I mean, I don't mind modders. I don't mind modders going crazy. I love modders. I love the modder community. I love all of you.
Keep in mind, SNK just did a crossover with Mobile Legends Bang Bang, where they just added all the, like, you have Leona and Yuri and all them in it. So. I mean, they're reaching out to the games that they can. Maybe we'll see Arena of Valor or something like that. Valor Arena, or whatever.
Who knows? But yeah, this is a big statement from them, especially to have the CEO come out and do that. It was just like incredible. Capcom out here trying to do some big old things, trying to show that they're going to be supporting Street Fighter 6 on a level that we have yet to see for fighting games, or at least in Capcom's history as well. I'm super excited. The amount of people that have become Street Fighter 6 pro players now overnight is incredible.
And Marvel players.
And Marvel players, both Marvel and Street Fighter.
All over.
It's 2010 all over again. 2011 all over again, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Did you, by the way, hear? There's somebody, I don't remember where I saw it, but somebody had a graph of the Google search of crack beta.
Oh, yeah. Motherfuckers became pirates. Straight Johnny Depp style, and you just morphed into them instantly. Where it's like, yes, $1 million. The
everybody's like,
Pirate of the Caribbean theme just started hitting.
They start walking like this. Everything possible.
All of that.
It was but you know what? They're gonna be like, "Have you played? What was it? Oh my gosh, I'm thinking of all the Johnny Depp. Like, but you have heard of me."
Then they're like, "Have you abused your wife?" You're like, "Wait, hold the fuck up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
This has nothing to do with Street Fighter money."
All right, but what do you guys think? Where were you guys at? Where were you guys at? Yeah, we only condone violence in a street fight. That's our thing. That is an act of combat, mutual combat. That's a thing. It's actually a law. Go look it up. Yeah, what do you guys think? What were you guys feeling when you saw the CEO come out and make that big announcement? Street Fighter 6 getting incredible support. It's gonna be a blow up in great ways, I think, for everybody, for the players, for the TOs, for the game. Those are just my thoughts. But let us know, you guys, listeners out there. Let us know. Hit us up. Tag us on Twitter at DoubleTapFGC. You can put a hashtag Street Fighter 6 if you want there, or a milli, whatever. We'll see it. We'll check it out. We'll love to answer and get some of your insights on it. It'll be incredible to see, because you know what? This is all happening for y'all. It's happening to y'all, the future, the next gen. It's kind of just mind-boggling to